Innovation has always been the cornerstone of Michelin's presence in the world tire market. From the first attachable pneumatic tire in the early 1890s to the invention of the radial tire in 1946, Michelin has been identifying solutions to help truckers for over a century. With such a rich history in technology, it should be no surprise that the Michelin X1 tire is finding fleets and drivers who have evaluated and scrutinized our new generation wide tire and have become X1 tire believers. The X1 tire from Michelin, just the latest in a proud history of tire innovation. Safety is also one of our core principles, and on that we will not compromise. With such innovative products also comes new guidelines for maintenance and operations. There are 3 keys that you, the driver, hold when it comes to the safety of your rig: pressure maintenance, vehicle handling, and rapid air loss techniques. Whether you are driving an 18-wheeler or a 10-wheeler with X1 tires, the only part of your rig that keeps you in contact with the road is the tires. Properly maintained tires help give you better control, proper traction, and help prevent costly downtime. Downtime isn't just annoying. It costs you money for every minute you aren't driving. We all know that a pre-trip inspection is a legal requirement, but many times the tire's air pressure check is neglected. The fact is, the #1 cause of tire failures is low air pressure. To start the inspection, you need a calibrated air gauge. Thumping or kicking the tire is not an accurate way to check pressures. You might think that you'd be able to visually see a low-pressure tire. While the X1 tire is easier to inspect than duals, pressure is difficult to gauge visually, even for the most experienced driver. In this side-by-side comparison, see if you can tell which tire is underinflated by more than 20%. Any tire known or suspected to have been run 20% or more underinflated could possibly have permanent structural damage. Any such tire must be removed from service, dismounted, and inspected by trained tire personnel for signs of damage. Let's face it, checking pressures is a pain. You have to bend down, find the valve stem, get your hand wedged into the wheel's handhold, check the pressure on the outside tire, and then check the inside tire. There's good news if your truck is equipped with X1 tires. You'll have 8 less tires to check. All the valve stems will be easily accessible, and they'll all be pointed outward. When you are checking your pressure, be sure to check the valve for looseness and leaking. A quick squirt from a bottle of spray cleaner will alert you to a leak that could spell big trouble down the road. While the cold air pressure inside your tires could vary by 3 to 5 psi, depending on ambient air temperature or even sunlight, a difference of 5 psi or more between the front and the rear tandem on the same side is usually a telltale sign of a slow leak. If left unchecked, a slow leak will lead to a tire failure, downtime, and possible tread separation. It's that simple. The X1 tires are great when properly inflated. Your truck is equipped with new generation wide single Michelin X1 tires. Check it out. Handling is as simple as obeying the law. We're not talking about the speed limit and traffic signs, although obeying those are very important too. We're talking about the laws of physics. Laws that can't be broken without dire consequences. One of the first things a driver will notice when he switches from duals to X1 tires is that the rig now handles much better. Some have even gone as far as racing and winning on the X1 tires. There are 2 things you can do to a vehicle to make it more resistant to rollover: lower the center of gravity or increase the track width. When mounted on 2-inch offset wheels or using a wide track axle, the Michelin X1 tire provides a wider axle track by more than 3 inches, and that improves the rollover resistance of the vehicle. Any improvement in stability is great. However, putting X1 tires on your vehicle still doesn't make it a sports car. you are still responsible for a heavy-duty, multi-axle piece of high-tech machinery that weighs over 40 tons with a high center of gravity. Keep all 10 tires on the ground. Obey the posted speed limits. Don't push it. Failure to do so may cause your truck to tip. It's that simple. A rapid air loss situation sounds like it could lead to a wild, uncontrollable event. And while the X1 tire construction is probably as robust, if not more, than any other dual tire, a rapid air loss is always a possibility. After blowing out hundreds of tires, we can tell you that a rapid air loss is a non-event if you follow a few simple rules. First of all, don't brake. Panic braking is the worst possible thing you can do. The best solution for maintaining control during a rapid air loss is under your right foot. Step on the accelerator to get power to the drive wheels. Yes, keep some driving torque to keep the rig under control. Then gradually bring the vehicle to a safe and controlled stop. A slow air leak is more sneaky and potentially more dangerous than a rapid air loss. Professional drivers who test tires for a living have stated that even when a tire is this low, they can't feel any change in the vehicle behavior. The truck may not act differently, but the tire is undergoing dramatic changes. Major tire components are breaking down, and failure is imminent. When a tire this flat continues to run, it will eventually start to come apart, and in time, the axle will drop down as there is no longer any support on that axle end. As we mentioned before, an air loss is easy to control. No hard braking. Maintain control by maintaining torque. Look for a safe place to pull over and begin deceleration. Here's one more important detail to keep in mind. The deflated X1 tire is still under load, but can no longer transmit driving or braking torque to the road surface. In other words, as soon as you apply the brakes, even gradual pressure, that wheel position will lock up. Even if the truck is equipped with ABS brakes, a lockup could still occur. The ABS system, which would normally prevent brake lock, does not necessarily have sensors on all wheel positions. If the wheel position locks up, you will flat spot and destroy the wheel. And given the right conditions of road surface, speed and distance, you could also generate enough heat between the wheel and the road surface to cause the tire to catch on fire. While such occurrences are very rare, and even though the best remedy is always prevention to avoid the pressure loss in the first place, there is still a simple solution if you find yourself in this type of situation. Just allow the wheel position to rotate a little. It may not be very intuitive, but it is simple and it works. Just release the brakes for a couple of seconds, once or twice, to allow the wheel assembly to spin as you come to a gradual stop. Sustained braking following a rapid air loss on a wide single tire will scrap the wheel and could generate enough heat to cause the tire to catch on fire. Pump the brakes. It's that simple. Maintaining a safe vehicle is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Always do a full pre-trip inspection, which includes verifying the air pressures of all tires. Always operate your vehicle within its safe limits and obey all posted signs. And finally, always handle an air loss situation safely by avoiding panic braking and by periodically releasing the brakes to allow the wheel to rotate as it comes to a gradual stop. It's that simple.
Michelin, a better way forward.